Hello everybody, and what you're looking at right here are two of my rotor pullers from my old Suzuki GS. I stripped both of them, and let's see, I think this one, before it stripped, you can look closely at it. There's a good picture. It cracked there on both sides. It cracked right there and then stripped inside. Well, actually, ground that one out some for this bolt to go through it. And I welded this nut on there at one point. It broke. I say, of course, that was after I stripped both of them. Broke two pullers and didn't get the rotor off. On to the next step. These pieces here, you'll see in a minute. Okay, here's my my puller attachment that I just fabbed. Let's see if I get a little bit of focus there. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, this is the what it started out as. This is one of them that's stripped out. I welded it onto this into this pipe right here and made a flange for it. This is for it to go into my press. You can see there's the threads right there to thread onto the end of the crankshaft. There it is. It's ready to set up. Be back with you in a minute. Okay. Some of you guys that are into GSs know exactly what you're looking at. This attachment for my rotor puller is screwed directly onto the end of the rotor for the crankshaft. As you know, for those of y'all that do some of your own work, and I got it set up to put in my 1-ton press here. Now this bolt is going to push on the end of the crank, and also, by the way, the nut is on the end of the crank to keep the crankshaft from falling and hitting the ground once it actually presses it loose. Like that. I'll set it in here. Okay. Like that. It's all set up. Right? Now it's time to try to press this bad boy out. Okay. Better put something under there to catch it just in case. There. Okay, what you saw just then is the the pipe broke loose from the rotor. As these are two different kinds of steel. I know that already, and the weld is not that strong trying to weld two different types of steel. So, well, I mean, that's it for trying to save the rotor while getting it off. Now I'm going to go ahead and just press it off, and the rotor will be no more good once I finish pressing it. On to the next step. There's no way that rotor was coming off the end of that crank with the crankshaft still in the engine. There's no way. This is what happens. This is what happens when you over torque the nut on the end of the crank to tighten the rotor up on the crankshaft. Be sure you don't do this. Make sure you always just torque it to spec. There went the gear, the starter gear. Let me reposition it. Okay, I broke some of the starter gear. Let's break the rest of it off. Yep, that's all of it. All the starter gears broke off. Let's reposition it. This is all from over tightening the nut on the end of the crankshaft. Okay, last go around. You can see on there the taper on there is still good. Sometimes what happens, guys, they don't put them on tight enough. They don't put the rotor on tight enough, and it'll chew up the end of the crank. So this one hadn't been put on loose before, but this is somebody that did have one to come loose on another engine maybe, and they chewed it up, and they figured to make for sure that that didn't happen again, that they would over tighten the nut to put the rotor on. Don't ever do that. You torque it to spec, or else you'll have to do what I just did and put a crankshaft into a 1-ton press to get the rotor off. Thanks for watching.